What if peace isn't something you find on a remote mountain or inside a perfectly still meditation? What if it's not something you chase at all, but something you remember? We live in a world that rewards speed, noise, and constant doing. But beneath all of that, beneath the scrolling, the striving, the pretending, there is a quieter place. A place that doesn't demand you to be more, do more, fix more. A place that simply asks you to come home to yourself. This is not a book about escape. It's a guide for return. To the breath, to your truth, to your center. Because peace isn't a destination. It's a daily decision. And it starts here right now. Questions keep us awake, and answers never stop evolving. Dive deep into the worlds of psychology, philosophy, science, and religion, and challenge the way you see the world. If your mind craves knowledge, you're in the right place. Stay curious, stay engaged, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because the journey of discovery never ends. Challenge your thoughts. Change your world. Welcome to Sleepless Minds. Chapter 1. The Chaos Within Understanding the Source of Disquiet. Before we talk about peace, we must first understand the storm, because no one seeks shelter unless they've stood in the rain, and no one truly hungers for peace until they've known what it means to live without it. Chaos, in the modern world, is subtle. It's not the lightning bolt, it's the constant hum, the background static we grow so used to, we forget it's even there. It's waking up tired, rushing through the morning, scrolling through fear, outrage, and comparison before we've even had a sip of water. It's the to-do list screaming louder than our breath. The expectations that sit heavy on our shoulders from others, from ourselves, from society. It's the moments you laugh but feel hollow. When your body is present but your mind is spinning through loops of regret, worry, and what if. When life becomes performance, not presence. But here's what no one tells you. Chaos isn't just circumstantial, it's also internal. Peace doesn't disappear because of traffic, emails, or difficult people. It vanishes when we lose our center, when we let the world dictate our rhythm instead of listening to our own. So where does this inner chaos begin? Let's go deeper. The two voices in your head. Inside you there are two distinct voices. One is loud, urgent, and often afraid. It narrates constantly, "You're behind. You should have done more. What if they don't like you? What if you fail?" This is the voice of your ego, not in the arrogant sense, but in the survival sense. The ego is wired to protect, control, and defend. It lives in the past and future. It fears uncertainty. The other voice is quieter, gentle, often ignored. It whispers, "You're okay. Slow down. You are enough. Just breathe." This is your deeper self, your intuition, your inner knowing. It lives only in the present. It doesn't yell. It doesn't rush. It waits. The problem is, in a noisy world, the loud voice wins, unless you choose to tune into the quiet one. That choice is the beginning of peace. Why stillness feels uncomfortable? Here's something unexpected. Most people fear peace. Not consciously, but the idea of slowing down, of being alone with one's thoughts, of sitting in silence, it can be terrifying. Why? Because stillness reveals truth, and truth can be uncomfortable. When the noise fades, what surfaces is the self raw and unfiltered. The pain we haven't processed, the dreams we buried, the parts of us we pretend not to see. Stillness is a mirror, and most people have spent a lifetime avoiding their own reflection. But here's the twist: what's painful at first becomes freeing. Because once you face what's inside you, it no longer controls you. Once you sit with the storm, you realize you are not the storm. You are the sky wide, open, unaffected. The real roots of restlessness. People often mistake symptoms for causes. They say, "I'm stressed because of work," or "I'm anxious because of that person." But those are surface-level explanations. The real roots go deeper. Here are a few truths worth exploring. 1. You're not living in alignment with your values. Maybe you value creativity, but you haven't created anything in months. Maybe you crave authenticity, but spend your days people-pleasing. Inner conflict always leads to inner chaos. 2. You're addicted to stimulation. Busyness can become a drug. Distraction, a safety blanket. If you don't remember the last time you sat still without checking your phone, you may be afraid of what stillness brings up. 3. You're carrying unresolved emotions. Anger, grief, shame when not processed. These emotions live in the body. They show up as tension, fatigue, and short tempers. Peace requires emotional honesty. The invitation. So what's the first real step toward inner peace? It's not meditation. It's not quitting your job or moving to the countryside. It's this. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you're fine when you're exhausted. Stop pretending you don't care when you do. Stop minimizing your needs to make others comfortable. Peace begins when we return to truth. And truth begins with awareness. So today, don't try to fix everything. Don't chase a perfect routine. Just pause. Breathe. Ask, what am I feeling really? And what do I need truly? Then listen. No judgment. Just presence. Because underneath all the noise, beneath all the performing and pretending, there is a core part of you that is untouched, unshaken, and whole. That part is waiting for you. And in the chapters ahead, we'll show you how to find your way back home to it. Chapter 2. The Power of Presence, Reclaiming Your Inner Space. Imagine this. You're walking through a dense forest. The sun slices through the canopy, golden and quiet. The air smells of moss and morning. Every step feels sacred. The rustle of wind through leaves, the distant call of a bird, they don't interrupt your thoughts. They replace them. For a few rare moments, there's no past to rewind, no future to worry over. Just this. Just now. That's presence. And presence is peace's birthplace. Most of us live everywhere but here. We replay conversations from last week. We worry about problems that haven't arrived. We scroll for hours, numbing our boredom or pain, seeking little jolts of meaning. But the present moment, the only place where life actually happens, becomes a corridor we rush through. Peace, however, only lives here, in the now, in the inhale, in the step, in the sip of tea you're too distracted to taste. Reclaiming your inner space means returning to this moment fully, freely, and again and again. Let's explore how. The myth of multitasking. We glorify multitasking in our culture as if juggling more equals being more. But neuroscience says otherwise. Each time you switch tasks from answering an email to checking a notification to trying to focus on a project, your brain has to reset. This cognitive switching is energy draining. It scatters attention. It fractures presence. And presence, once fractured, takes time to rebuild. Imagine dropping a glass. Even if you glue it back together, something is lost. The truth? You were never meant to do 10 things at once. You were meant to be here, fully immersed in one thing at a time, whether that's writing, walking, cooking, listening, or simply being. Multitasking is modern dis-ease. Mindfulness is the ancient cure. The inner room. Here's a metaphor. Your mind is a room. Most days, it's crowded voices chattering, memories knocking, worries pacing like restless guests. Now imagine slowly asking each one to leave. You open a window. Let the air shift. Light pours in. And in the silence that follows, you remember something. This room belongs to you. It always has. That's what presence does. It clears the clutter. It reclaims space. When you're present, even if the world outside is chaotic, your room stays still. Micro moments of mindfulness. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need an hour of meditation to cultivate presence. You need willingness. You need awareness. You need rituals. Let's talk about micro moments, small, sacred pauses that bring you back. 1. The breath pause. At any moment, stop and take one deep breath. Feel it expand your ribs. Feel it leave you. Let your awareness ride that breath like a wave. 2. The transition ritual. Before entering a new space, your car, a meeting, your home, pause for 5 seconds. Say inwardly, I am here now. 3. The savoring practice. Choose one thing daily to savor. Your coffee, a walk, washing your hands. Do it slowly. Do it with attention. Let it anchor you. Presence isn't about changing your whole life. It's about being in your life more fully. Technology and the hijack of now, our tools were designed to serve us. But somewhere along the way, we became servants to them. Phones are attention magnets. Notifications are dopamine triggers. Every buzz, ping, or vibration pulls you out of presence and into hyper-awareness of what might be happening elsewhere. But inner peace cannot live in elsewhere. It can only grow in the fertile ground of now. This doesn't mean rejecting technology, it means redefining your relationship with it. Try this. Keep your phone in another room during meals. Create no screen zones. The bedroom, the dinner table, the first hour after waking. Replace morning scrolling with 5 minutes of silence or journaling. These tiny shifts reclaim massive energy. They tell your nervous system, we are safe, we are not under siege, we can slow down. And in that slowing, peace seeps in. The body knows the way. When the mind races, the body tightens. Shoulders hunch, breath shortens, jaws clench. We live from the neck up, heads full, hearts forgotten. But your body is always present. It can't travel to tomorrow or backtrack to yesterday. It's here, it's now, and it's wise. Use it as your guide. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Stretch slowly. Notice where you hold tension. Walk barefoot. Touch leaves. Hug someone longer than usual. These are not luxuries. They're returns to the truth that you are not just a thinker. You are a feeler, a breather, a being. And being is presence. Being is peace. The gift of deep listening. Here's a radical act of presence. Listening. When someone speaks to you, how often are you truly there? Not preparing your reply, not checking your phone, not judging or fixing, just listening. Presence in conversation transforms relationships. It makes people feel seen, valued, held. But it also transforms you, because when you give someone your full attention, your mind quiets. You stop narrating life and start participating in it. This isn't just connection, it's communion. Try this today. In your next conversation, put your phone away. Look into their eyes. Listen not just to their words, but to their being. Notice how it softens both of you. The sacredness of slowness. We've been taught that fast is good, that more is better, that slowing down means falling behind. But some of the most profound moments of your life happened slowly. The way a sunset deepens, the warmth of someone's hand in yours, the peace of waking up without an alarm, sunlight painting the walls. Slowness invites depth, so reclaim it. Eat slowly. Drive without rushing. Let your day breathe with breaks, space, stillness. Slowness isn't laziness, it's reverence. And peace loves reverence. Your presence is enough. In the end, inner peace is not something you find. It's something you return to again and again through presence. And presence doesn't require you to be perfect, healed, enlightened, or wise. It asks only this: be here. Be in your breath, be in your step, be in your feeling, be in your seeing. Because this moment, raw, imperfect, ordinary, is holy. Not because it's impressive, but because it's real. And you, in your realness, are already enough. Onward we go. This is the Deep Dive, a chapter about stepping into the truth of who you are. Chapter 3. The Path of Alignment. Living your truth with integrity. There comes a moment, quiet, personal, unmistakable, when you realize that the true source of your unrest isn't what's around you, but what's happening within you. You're not at war with the world, you're at war with yourself. That's the moment the journey changes. From searching for peace out there, to aligning with your truth in here. Because inner peace isn't something you meditate your way into. You live your way into it. Let me tell you a story. The Mask and the Mirror. Once there was a woman who wore a mask. Not a literal one, but a social one, the kind crafted from politeness, performance, and expectations. She smiled when she didn't want to. She agreed to things that drained her. She buried her desires so deeply, she forgot what they even were. People loved her. She was easy to be around. But each night, when the noise quieted, she felt empty, unseen, unknown even to herself. One day, standing in front of a mirror, she whispered, "I don't know who I am anymore." That was her awakening. The mask began to crack. And in that breaking, peace found its way in. What is alignment, really? Alignment means living in a way that matches your values, your truth, and your inner compass even when it's inconvenient. It means the outside you and the inside you are speaking the same language. When your actions reflect your beliefs, when your words reflect your heart, when your lifestyle reflects your soul, that's alignment. And alignment feels like this. You sleep better. You feel lighter. Decisions become easier. You stop needing so much validation. You stop feeling like you're running from something, because you're no longer split in two. You're whole. The cost of misalignment. Let's be real, most people are misaligned. Not because they're weak, but because they've been conditioned to betray themselves to belong. You were likely taught to be nice over being honest, to fit in over standing out, to follow rules, not inner callings, to survive, not thrive. But over time, this misalignment accumulates like a crooked spine, carrying invisible weight. Symptoms include chronic dissatisfaction, even when life looks good, bitterness toward others who are living freely, over-explaining, over-apologizing, over-committing, emotional numbness, cynicism, and a quiet yearning for something more. These are not flaws, these are signals. They whisper, "You've wandered from your truth. Come back." So how do you come back? It starts with radical honesty. Not the kind that's weaponized or performative, but the kind that sits quietly inside you and refuses to pretend anymore. Ask yourself, what am I doing in my life that no longer feels right? Who do I pretend to be around others? Where have I said yes when my soul screamed no? These questions are not easy, but they are liberating. They're not designed to destroy your life. They're designed to rebuild it on truth. Because peace does not coexist with pretense. Living your values. Values are not wishes. They are non-negotiables, core principles, the soil you stand on. When you don't know your values, you chase shiny things, success, approval, aesthetics. But when you know your values, you become rooted. You don't need the whole world to validate your path. You just need it to be your path. Here's a simple exercise. Write down your top 5 values. Examples: authenticity, creativity, integrity, kindness, freedom, growth, simplicity. Now, look at your calendar and your bank account. Ask, are these aligned with what I say I value? If not, it's not failure. It's feedback. You can't align with something you haven't named. Integrity. Peace's best friend. Integrity is doing the right thing, not the easy thing. Not the popular thing, even when no one is watching. It's keeping your promises to yourself. If you say you'll rest, rest. If you say you'll speak up, speak. If you say you'll walk away from what hurts you, walk. Every time you betray your inner voice to please the outer world, peace leaks out. But every time you honor it, even in small ways, peace grows. It doesn't require grand gestures, just daily acts of self-respect. The courage to disappoint. Here's something no one wants to hear. To live in alignment, you will have to disappoint some people. You will outgrow old roles. You will stop meeting unspoken expectations. You will say no when you used to say, of course. And yes, some people won't like the new you. But ask yourself, would I rather disappoint others or myself? Would you rather live admired but aching, or misunderstood but at peace? Remember this. Peaceful people are not always popular people, but they are free. The art of saying no. Every no to misalignment is a yes to inner peace. So say no to relationships that drain you, to opportunities that flatter your ego but betray your soul, to obligations that no longer reflect your season of life. No is not rejection. No is redirection back to your center. Start small. Practice. You'll build the muscle. And over time, your no will sound less like defiance and more like self-honoring. Let yourself change. Maybe the hardest part of alignment is allowing yourself to evolve. Because the version of you who made old choices did the best they could. But you're not that version anymore. Maybe back then you needed approval, or safety, or routine. But now you crave realness. Let that be okay. Let yourself rewrite the story. Inner peace isn't static. It's a living, breathing process of choosing yourself moment by moment, day by day. Alignment as a daily practice. Don't wait for clarity to start living in alignment. Clarity comes from action, not before it. Here's a practice to ground you. The daily compass check. Morning. Ask, what does alignment look like for me today? Midday. Pause. Am I still walking my path, or have I veered off? Evening. Reflect. Where was I true to myself? Where did I stray? What do I need to adjust tomorrow? This gentle checking in will transform your life over time. Because peace doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives in inches, in choices, in the quiet yes to your truest self. In the end, your peace is not something to find in faraway lands, new jobs, or spiritual trends. It is what arises when who you are, what you believe, and how you live all match. That is alignment. That is freedom. That is the calm you've been chasing. And it's not in the next chapter. It's here. It's now. You are allowed to come home to yourself again and again and again. Beautiful. Let's bring it all together now. This chapter is about not just finding peace, but keeping it. It's about building a life where stillness isn't a rare escape. It's the rhythm you return to, again and again. Chapter 4. Sustaining the stillness rituals, relationships, and return. So you've touched it now. That quiet center. That breath between thoughts. That moment of yes in your bones. You've felt the difference between performing life and being in it. You've recognized the storm and you've begun to stand in the eye of it. But peace is not a destination. It's not a trophy you earn and display. It's a practice, a living, breathing relationship with yourself and your world. The real question is, how do you carry this stillness into the chaos of everyday life? This chapter is your answer. Let's talk about how to sustain the stillness. Peace is a practice. Think of peace not as a single moment of enlightenment, but as a garden. You don't plant it once and walk away. You water it. You weed it. You protect it from the storms. You tend to it daily. This means your inner peace isn't guaranteed, but it is nurtured. And that nurturing comes down to 3 things. Rituals that anchor you, relationships that reflect you, returning, again and again, to what matters. Let's begin with the first. Rituals, the roots of a peaceful life. A ritual is more than a habit. It's a habit with soul, with intention. It tells your nervous system, we are safe here, we are home. And while the world pushes us toward urgency, rituals remind us of presence. Here are a few rituals that sustain peace. 1. Morning stillness. Start the day on your terms. Before emails, before news, before the scroll, be with yourself. Light a candle. Stretch. Breathe. Journal a single line. Ask, what do I need today? 2. Digital sunsets. Create a cutoff time when you unplug from tech. Reclaim your evening as sacred space for quiet, connection, or reflection. Let your mind descend from its constant hum. 3. Weekly solitude. Set aside 1 hour a week alone, offline, undistracted. Walk without headphones. Sit in nature. Drive nowhere in particular. Let your thoughts rise and fall like waves. These rituals aren't about being good. They're about being well. Peace needs containers. These are yours. Relationships. Who you let into the garden. Inner peace doesn't exist in isolation. We are relational beings. And the people we spend time with either water our roots or drain our soil. Ask yourself, do I feel seen and accepted in this relationship? Do I shrink or expand when I'm around them? Do our values align, or am I always explaining myself? This isn't about judgment, it's about resonance. Peaceful relationships don't mean perfect ones, they mean honest ones. With peaceful people, you don't have to perform. You don't have to explain your worth. You can be quiet together. You can be real. And when conflict arises, because it always does, it's met with openness, not defensiveness. Protect your peace like it's sacred because it is. If someone consistently disrupts that peace, it's okay to step back. Boundaries are not walls. They are fences with gates. You decide who comes in. Return, the lifelong practice of coming back. Even the most aligned, mindful person will lose their peace sometimes. You'll snap. You'll forget to breathe. You'll chase things that don't matter. That's okay. Peace isn't about never leaving your center. It's about returning to it more quickly, more gently, each time. This is the art of return. When you lose yourself in comparison, return to gratitude. I am not behind, I am on my path. When you drown in overwhelm, return to the breath. One inhale, one exhale, one task at a time. When your heart breaks, return to softness. Let it hurt. Let it open you. You don't need to be strong right now. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to notice. And then with love, not shame, guide yourself back. Like a mother guiding a child home in the dark. The peaceful life is not the passive life. There's a misconception that inner peace is apathy, that it's checking out, floating through life without ambition or emotion. But peace isn't numbness. It's clarity. It's knowing what matters and what doesn't. It's saying no to the drama, not because you're indifferent, but because you choose energy over chaos. It's taking action not from fear or proving, but from purpose. Peaceful people can lead revolutions, create art, raise families, run businesses. But they do so from their center, not from their wounds. They are not reactive. They are responsive. And in that gap between reaction and response lies freedom. Peace is a daily decision. You won't always feel peaceful. Life will still be loud. Things will still fall apart. But here's what's different now. You know where the center is. You know how to come back. You've built the rituals.